Every one of you watching this screen, look out.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What did I tell you about cartoons?
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Tell me how comic books make you feel, Dave.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hi, this is Frantz Kantor, illustrator, cartoonist, and ToonTalker, and I'm here with
Paul Harvey.
And Paul.
I am a caricaturist.
You are
a cartoonist and illustrator. And
par excellence. You're specialized in sports caricatures.
Yeah, that's sort of the niche I fell into. So
and the sub niche of that is
footy. Yeah,
footy.
So I do a lot of footy. So I do the footy. I do the select footy cards, and I've been doing footy stuff for over 30 years now, on commission basis and for the AFL and so on and so forth. And thus, the book has Footy Stars: 30 Years of Caricatures.
Fantastic. The Best of Paul Harvey. And this is published by WP, which is...
Michael Wilkinson Publishing.
Michael Wilkinson Publishing.
Yep. And it was designed by Michael Bannenberg and myself.
Yes.
And,
there's a little bio at the back
bios.
flap about you. And there was one somewhere about...
Banners.
Yeah.
It's in his book.
Oh, it's in his book.
Yeah, it's in his book.
Cool. Okay. All right. So let's get started.
Also, Wilkinson approached me not that long ago. It's amazing how books are printed so quickly now. But approached me probably late last year and just said, look, we'd like to do a book. We think it'd be really interesting to do 30 years of how long have you been doing the footy stuff for? And I said, I think it's over 30 years. And he said, well, let's call it 30 years of caricatures. I said, great. And Footy Stars, he said, fantastic. And he said, and then they came round and they went through all my bits and pieces. I had some originals and I had some digital files of a lot of this stuff. And they were very excited, and then this is the result.
Look at that, beautiful.
So it's really nice to have a compendium of all your work in one spot.
So you co-designed this, or you designed this yourself, or what's the deal with this?
Well, Banner's designed it, and then did a sort of a rudimentary job, and then I sort of went away and
made it better.
Yeah, just put in things. Basically, took out things I didn't like and put in things I liked.
Yep.
So so it was it's terrific. That was his idea to end papers with the black line, which is looks fantastic.
It does.
It's funny. I had about 15 of the black line caricatures, and he said, "Oh, these are great. We'll put them in the corner of each page."
Yeah,
it is. Can you do me 100 more?
Yeah, look at that. Every page. I don't know if you can see that. Let's have every page in the corner. Has a different caricature.
Yeah. And we didn't actually say who they are, which is great. So you've got to work that out for yourself.
Yep. So there's not even a glossary or something.
Maybe it'll be a competition for us. You can win a book.
Oh,
you can name them all. That's not a bad idea.
What an awesome idea! Yeah, that's really cool. Okay, well let's get started. Here's a wow, this is really beautifully designed. The size of this is I think it's about A3, so it's quite a tome. And the paper's really good too.
Yeah, beautiful mat.
Yeah, so it's a dense mat, so the photographs actually show up really well.
So Andy Marr's a good mate of mine from school. I've known Andy forever. So he's from the front bar. I have to explain these things to you because you don't follow the footy.
Yep.
And the great John Spooner wrote a beautiful foreword. So they both wrote some nice things, which is really lovely.
There's John.
Yeah, and Andy.
Yep.
I've
That's
known
really
Andy forever.
cool. And these are some of your select cards.
Oh, well, they weren't actually. That was for Relive the Rivalry, which is a charity for a young fellow down in Tassie, and they relive the Victoria and Tasmanian rivalry. So I did those cards a few years ago. We go.
Such incredible variety. You must be really thrilled with this. It's amazing to see your work. Like,
shows a little bit of everything that I do.
Altogether.
So it's a bit of an overview of all the sort of AFL stuff I've been doing for the last 30 years.
There's a young you.
Yeah, that's it. Yes, that's when I had hair, and that's when Sam didn't. And Sam's helping me paint a Don Bradman bat, which is interesting.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, so we're painting. That was signed by Bradman. That bat so I had to put tape over the signature so it wouldn't smudge it.
Yeah.
And then we painted Bradman on. But I used to do that a lot. That's my office, looking relatively tidy.
Yep.
Which I must have cleaned it for the day because it never looks like that.
Offices never do.
Ever.
This
Funny,
is
there's a photo of Sam and a photo of Billy in the book.
Yeah.
Not one of Tom, so Tom said, I'm not reading it.
Okay. He's on strike.
I kept putting photos in, but they never stuck a Tom one in. So. That was for a book on Melbourne's greatest players. It was a watercolour.
Yeah.
First lettering.
So you've been watercolouring most of your life, I guess.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, just always. Sorry, that's annoying me. I like most medium. I like mixed medium. I like trying everything, but
there's a real immediacy to watercolor, and it's a very particular technique. And the watercolor purists like this sort of, the organic. There's a name for it, which I don't remember.
Yeah,
what it is.
It's cauliflowering.
Cauliflower.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. I love that you create a bit of a reservoir of water and colour,
pigment.
and then just explode it through. So
Yeah.
I've done some more of those. That was very early. That one at Brass, I did that a long time ago.
Yeah. So you really love action. This is the thing about you, which I've noticed. It's very difficult to pull off action convincingly unless you know the sport, unless you know that action. Like golf, caricatures. I mean, you probably play golf, so you'd know how to do a caricature.
I do. Golf. I've been cartooning. I've been doing golf cartoons for Golf Victoria for 18 years.
Wow.
I don't play golf. I don't even like golf. It spoils a good walk. So
no, but you know the action, though. You know the process.
Yeah.
So that's important with drawing action or caricatures in action. You've got to actually know what those actions are, and you do.
Maybe.
I wouldn't.
I think
this is a, what do they call this? A punt?
Handball.
Handball.
Well, Vossi was. So I like to get the nature of the. So Vossi was a Brisbane Lions Brownlow medalist champion, and I'm a Brisbane Lions supporter.
Yeah.
And Vossi could handball that ball 40, 50 metres, or not 50 metres, but he could handball that ball a long way.
Long way.
And I love that. I think it's important in caricature that.
It's a signature move for them, isn't it?
Very
That's how
much.
they get their $1 million checks.
Very much,
Yeah.
It becomes one of their signature moves. So he was a great handballer, and I think it's important when caricaturing football not to just do the same old,
Poses.
Yeah, that standard arms crossed pose, but get a bit of action and movement. And well,
You go see my Balmain poster.
back in the day, that was the only reference you had to these guys. So I'm fortunate that I have newspapers and now the internet where I can get lots of good shots of guys' heads, which probably helps the.
Absolutely.
I can watch them on telly, and I can see how they move and see how they.
So you actually pick not only the poses or the signature poses of each of the characters. So you've actually picked out really good expressions which show energy of the game or of the character. So there's a real vibe about footy.
Yeah, I tried to. I mean, these are fairly sedate. I suppose that's not. I suppose there's movement in. There's something.
There's
happening
movement
in most
in
of those.
yeah.
That's fairly sedate. The one of Jono, but and.
But these are like key signature expressions. I mean, that's gorgeous. That's absolutely brilliant.
Barry Hall.
Yeah.
That's Joffa. He's a like the major supporter at Collingwood.
And even
who hates Carlton. So.
Yeah, even the announcer.
Yeah, Rex Hunt.
Rex Hunt.
Yeah. Well, he's larger than life, so you try to get a bit of that spit and carry on.
Yeah. No,
that's
that's brilliant.
Big.
Oh, look at this on toned paper.
Yeah, like I wanted to try one on. I had that one. I wanted to fill the page with the coloured paper, and on the mat, it almost.
This is he's an Aboriginal player. And
yeah, that's Nicky Winmar. So
this was a protest move to.
Yeah, pretty much. It was a game at
heckling
Collingwood
or something.
He was getting in Victoria Park in about '93. He was. He and Gilbert McAdam tore the Magpies apart, and they were copying a lot of. I spoke to
abuse from the audience.
I spoke to a good mate of mine who was in the Collingwood cheer squad at the time, a fellow I know pretty well, and he was saying that he said, he said it's just what we did, and he said we went to the pub after the game and we came out and all this storm had erupted, and he said it really made changes within the cheer squad.
Well, it's such a simple move, isn't it? It's such a simple move. It says, that's my colour of the skin. So this is a really beautiful statement with the coloured paper. Well, it was a wonderful statement
that he made, and he made. It was interesting talking to someone that was in the cheer squad, and he said it made a difference to us. We didn't do that anymore.
Yeah. No, that's really powerful.
They do other things, of course, Collingwood supporters, but they don't do that anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a passionate game. It's a passionate sport. And passions come to the surface sometimes,
They certainly do, and are at the moment.
Yeah, but this is very sensitive. It's beautiful the way that you've been able to pick up made it three-dimensional with the white pencil. It's great, and the awesome frenzied cross-hatching that you've put in here. It just gives it really incredible energy and vibrance.
Well, these are sketches for the.
Look at that beard! My God.
I can't think of his name, but Baldock. He was a great goal kicker. I did it from my son Sam, who has a blog and a podcast.
Yeah. So
Bella to Goat. It's called. I'll give him a plug.
Yeah.
Check out Bella to Goat.
Look how much fun that hair is. God. It's the incredible variety you get for these caricatures is just, unbelievable. Just blows me away.
So these were all the coaches from 2011.
Yeah.
And interestingly, how many are there and how many are not there. Yeah, poor old Brad Scott looks like he's about to go.
Look at this guy. Looks like a shoe.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Great shape.
You could get a pair of slippers in this with this face. And
back in his days, he had a few feet on that face.
Yeah.
Poor old Dean Bailey's no longer with us. He passed on.
So a lot of the caricatures, they lead by the expression. So the expression sometimes gives you the idea for the shape of how you're going to change that face.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. Are we talking enough footy, by the way? Because I'm like talking shop.
Oh, no, right.
Maybe we should talk footy.
Well, it's all footy.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's footy, so it's...
Hopefully
look, I love
you'll be
my
able
footy.
to... Yeah, obviously, yeah.
It's doing this stuff is the dream job. When I was a kid,
Well, you've done the sport proud, mate. You've done the sport proud.
So that's all the select cards from the first, including the Jonathan Brown up, and that was a prototype.
Yep.
So Steve Randalls from Spike sent me the files to put this page together.
Yep.
Spike Creative put the cards together every year, and that's just the sort of the changes over the years to the present day cards, including the 360 cards that I did for the television show, the footy show, the AFL 360.
Yep. Yeah, that's brilliant. Look at these little black and white corner pieces. These
that's McMahon
pen drawings.
Jimmy's got that original.
Awesome work. This is such a quality book.
So I put together these montages of the cards for each year, just each page, and they look, the people love them. We had that one up in the Australian Cartoon Museum, and they loved all that movement and all the faces. So I put together montages of each year through here. That's Brody Grundy holding his card from this year.
Yeah. So this is like a who's who, is it?
Brownlow medalist this year. Yeah, they're all a bit of a who's who.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, so it's one guy from each side. That's why I did the cover like I did too. I put a player from each team, but as happens,
you miss one out.
So that might be another competition.
Find out who it is.
Pick the team.
Guess.
I think I had a guy ready to go in, and I must have dropped it at the last moment. And
that
threw me out.
That's right. Well, you had to have dinner, and it was underneath the plate. You lost him.
Yeah.
So
that's Magic Door.
Yep.
And
Yep.
just different. So I suppose if you're looking at the caricature, it's all the different shapes and the heads, and and how you get these wonderful shapes of heads.
yeah, but even with the hands, you've got these signature fingers that you do, which have this. They look like they're broken. A lot of them look like they're twisted and going off in directions.
Some people suggest it's because my
anatomy
fingers,
didn't.
after playing 1,000 games of footy, my fingers do that a little bit. So, so it may be an affectation.
Yeah, but they're very expressive, man. They're so expressive. They're really beautiful. You've got it like fantastic anatomy, like perfect anatomy.
If you
with
watch
hands.
footy, you do see, there is a lot of expression in the hands. When they've kicked and they're pointing at where the ball's gone, and when you handball, the way your hands finish after you've handballed, and
Oh wow!
and the tension, the sort of the kinetic energy as you kick, and it's sort of shown through the fingers.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I do have a bit of fun with the fingers.
So every hand's different. It's like a caricature of the hand, caricature of the fists, and look at that. If that hand's not busted, I don't know what is. It's incredibly expressive and contorted, and it adds to the action. It's just incredible. It's really incredible. So there's action in every stroke. There's action in the direction of the lines. There's action in the pose. The caricature is led by, the likeness is led by the expression, and you just finish it off with these almost flourishes, the way that you put the hands in. Am I gushing too much?
No.
I don't want to gush.
Okay, just listen.
I'm blown out by the artistic merit of this, just the sheer power and purpose that you've just put into this. This is a absolute work of love, and you can tell. Yeah, that's all right.
So we I changed the style slightly each year, and until currently I hand paint them now, but they were painted digitally. There's a little
got nice brush work.
There's a little leprechaun in his beard here.
Yeah,
because Zach Toohey. That's when Zach Toohey was at Carlton, but he's one of the Irish players.
Yeah, I don't know if we can pick that up. It's there's a little tiny leprechaun in his beard. So these are little Easter eggs, and even in a card, people sort of, if they look really, really closely, you'd be able to pick
Easter
them up.
eggs, exactly.
So they're just little fun gags that you put in to up the ante, just to add extra value to the gag or to the
sometimes those little added extras add balance to the paintings, and fun to find.
Yeah, wow. Look at the sheer energy and variety, the expressions.
What's funny,
seeing them all together is magic.
When I started, say 30 years ago, you were doing fashion's cyclical, so it's almost the big beards and the mullets and all those things are sort of coming back. But I often say I started with mullets and ended with man buns. But well, let's hope I'm not ending. But I'm now doing man buns. But there's a lot of hair. Like if you look at that page, there's a hell of a lot of hair.
I know, I can see it. Look at that.
And now it's tattoos. Like back when I was drawing Kevin Murray, 30 years ago, he was the only guy that had a few tattoos. Well, now most guys, I was watching last night, so many guys have tattoos.
Yeah, and you got to keep up to date. Tattoos grow now, don't they?
Well,
they're not like Mum or Anchor.
Dustin Martin's got new tattoos every time I draw him.
You got to keep up to date, and
I don't like. So some guys like Bont and Buddy, I've drawn so many times, and I keep drawing them, and they keep changing. They become. It's like Jason Ackermanis. When Ackermanis started, he was a busy lines Brownlow medalist, but he was a pimply-faced redhead. But he finished with the Frank Thring goatee and the dyed blonde, peroxide hair, and
that's great.
And then became larger than the game.
In
some ways,
that's so awesome. Look at the energy, the line of action. It's just brilliant.
Josh Caddy.
It's brilliant. It's just you really understand movement. You really understand the figure moving in space, and have this incredible energy. I saw this being painted, didn't I?
Yeah. So for the exhibition, the Head High Tackle exhibition at the Australian Cartoon Museum, we did Hippie. We painted him from scratch, so you videoed it from start to finish. That one, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, so I'm familiar with all of these.
If the listeners go back through the archives, they'll see that one.
Yeah, it's awesome stuff. Look at this guy. We spoke about him before. It's like,
Bashir
what are you going to
Hooley.
do with this beard?
Yeah, Bashir Hooley.
It's just taken over. He's become cousin-it almost.
I think he's the only Muslim player in the league.
Do you get feedback from the players when they see these and what you've done?
Looks not often. It's not
'cause
like they
they're
come up
busy.
to me in the street
Yeah.
and say, "Hey," and
You drew me
headbutt
funny.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I get a lot of secondhand. People are funny. They love coming up and.
Yeah.
So I was at my wife's.
So your fans get the players to sign
the
cards, and then they give you anecdotes.
Yeah.
of
So
what
I
the
heard
player
from
said.
Clayton Oliver's family that he wasn't that in rap with the one I did of him. But then,
Well, that's the
as I
family,
say,
but
if
he might love it.
you've got a face like a drop pie. But he might like it. But that's
He might.
I have a there was a in fact I think I related this story in the book, but I did one of Adam Cooney, who was Bulldog champion.
Look at that.
He I did a caricature of him, and his manager called up the lady I was doing it for and said, "Oh look, I know it's a caricature and this is supposed to be fun, but I think this is particularly cruel. Can you change it?
Yeah.
Can you get him to change it?" And the lady rang me and said, "Listen, can you change it?" And I said, No, it'll be all right." She said, "What do you mean?" I said, No, it'll be okay.
Yeah.
And she said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "Nothing, just send it back. Wait a day, send it back." So she did, and he said, "Thank you, that's much better." I swear to God, that's true. But then his grandfather called me about a year later and said, "I'd love you to draw him for his wedding."
Yeah.
He and his wife, because when he proposed to his wife, he did it with a burger ring. He didn't have a ring.
Yeah.
So I did them getting engaged and had the burger ring on their finger and everything. And I told the grandfather the story, and he said, "Oh no, we love it. Oh no, we love it."
Yeah.
So the manager hadn't even showed it to him. He wanted to say that if the kid didn't like it, I hit the camera again. Sorry.
That's all right.
If the kid didn't like it, he wanted to, go down as having said to me to make it nicer, But as it turned out, the guy liked it. So sometimes you find that with managers, they upon themselves. So that's Big Maxi Gorn.
Yeah. So that's a real testament to your good taste there, I think.
What's that?
That they didn't.
That they liked it.
That they liked it in the end.
Yeah.
They have to trust you. Trust me, I'm a caricaturist.
Yeah, trust me. Yeah. Oh, look, I think that comes with time after I've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
People trust my eye, but I suppose when you're starting out, you get second guessed a bit. I suppose that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, well, people are, they have a funny interest in caricatures. At some point, they think, well, what are you going to do, right? So it's a game, it's a challenge, and at the same time, there's the expectation that you're going to pick on certain aspects about their face that they're a bit sensitive about.
Yeah.
They got a big schnoz, or they got an overbite or something.
I was doing one at Brizzy Lions Family Day, and big Oscar McInerney, who's a big tall ruckman, with a huge schnozzer, said, "Oh, you might need two pieces for mine."
Sticky tape, a bit more paper on.
I'm hoping I do him for this year's, because he's got a great head. I'm hoping
You should do an Archie, a bald Archie, where you've got that ability. Do a diptych, two paintings.
Yeah, nice.
And the part that's extended, like the nose, is a different painting.
Yeah, nice on another canvas.
Yeah, why not?
That was a great Gary Ablett. So Gary Ablett retired and then came back. So that was breathing life into. But I did these paintings back in '91, and I really did them for myself.
Yeah.
And I was playing with techniques and crackle medium in the and all that sort of stuff. And a long time ago, I was just a kid. So that's all the great fullbacks of the time. Used a little bit of crackle medium in here, but initially he was naked with just the scarf covering his.
It's private.
They wanted to use it in the magazine and made me paint the
shorts
on it, and then didn't use it because they were worried.
What are they worried about?
Oh, back in the day, every journo wanted to be the one that did the great
Yeah.
did the interview with the great Gary Ablett, right?
Yeah.
So no one was upset. No one wanted to upset him, and
Oh, okay.
Gary hated this piece. I'm told, and because he's very religious, and he thought it was, blasphemous. So he really didn't like the piece, and that's fine.
So
That's
this is obvious. This is
That's
in
Gary.
place of God. Gary as God.
Yes.
And who's this? Is Adam?
He's just a Geelong.
Just
that's
Geelong.
Adam, but he's just a Geelong drinking
Yep.
a VB. But he
Yep.
a Geelong supporter, and he is breathing life into him when he made a comeback. So I did this series of, like, they ended up calling them R-Toons, and they used them in footy cards. And I'm told they're the first caricatured AFL footy cards ever done.
Wow.
So they're all based on, art pieces, obviously,
Yeah.
and they're all hand painted. Was it really interesting looking at a
Mona
Da
Lisa.
Vinci and looking
Yeah.
at that background, looking closely at that background and seeing the colours.
Yeah.
That was based on Warhol, so that's brass in
Yep.
the 4 teams that he coached.
Ron Barassi there. Warhol used this technique, screen print technique. And
Nice to screen print that, actually.
It is.
It'd be nice.
It would be really cool.
Yeah, it would be
Yeah.
cool.
Oh, and Norman Rockwell.
Based on Rockwell,
Yep.
Saturday Afternoon Post. So that was
Look at the badges.
tattooist,
Yeah.
and that was William. So they were all themed.
Such a clever idea.
It's getting all the different teams he played for, and
Yeah.
that was Carl Langdon, the Screamer.
Yep. That's based on Monk's Scream.
I painted that after he got reported twice for hitting Stephen Silvani
Oh,
against
right.
Carlton. He was as mad as a cut snake, Carl Langdon.
This is awesome. Awesome work. Wow, and it keeps going, getting bigger. The Thinker.
The Thinker, so
David.
Chris McDermott from Cats. That was before they'd ever won a flag, so
Yep.
he was thinking about that. And
Watercolour again.
yeah, so the watercolour, a little bit of gouache in there, but mainly watercolour.
A little bit of toothbrush or splatter
Moderate
down the bottom.
taking marks over the
Beautiful.
Martin.
Yeah.
Campbell, I think his name was.
Tony Modra. Modra. That's brilliant.
Yeah, so I did those a long time ago.
This is based on a 1930s King Kong.
That's right, King Kong movie poster.
Yeah. Popeye arms.
And, so that's when Freo came into the league.
Yeah, but that's the painting of that, isn't it? Gulfstream or something?
It is something like it.
Yeah.
Something like that. Which is good. That was fun doing those because I was always looking at
Paintings
art
and
and paintings. And,
yeah. I love the sharks. That's just so cool.
Well, he was going into the deep end.
Yeah.
So they were for the footy cards. And some magazines use those illustrations.
Yeah.
And then this is...
Ooh.
So I was doing some work for Inside Footy.
Yep.
Which
Covers.
I did some covers. It's Andy Marr, who I mentioned before, was working at Inside Footy with Mick Lovett and Tony Greenberg and all those fellas, Mickey Russell. So they got me in to do a few of the covers. John Rogers used to do a fair bit of stuff for Inside Footy, the great Johnny Rogers, wonderful fella. And I was, so I did a few of the grand final covers and then a few different covers and stuff. Some of
Again,
those
you
originals
love
I
your
got.
art, don't you? That's based on Napoleon.
Yes, yeah.
Wow. It's great to see. It's great to see all the inventions that you use
So these
to
were
tell stories.
These were fun to do, but they were a pain in the bum because I had to have them ready Monday, and
Right.
you'd be doing them on the
whole
weekend while the
weekend, yeah.
games. And that one was it? That one, yeah. I think it was this one. What year's that? But I'd already. I know
2002?
it was this one. I'd already painted Sheedy
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and then Carlton got up. Sort of the last kick of the day over the Bombers, they overran them in the last quarter.
Yeah.
And I had to throw Mashidi into the corner and do David Parkin, who was the coach of. David Parkin was famous for having this big vein that used to
Pulse.
throb and pulse.
Yeah.
When he was stressed.
Yeah.
He's a good guy,
If you
Parker.
don't want stress, don't be a
Don't be a footy coach. That's right.
coach. Yeah.
That's right. They all go grey very quickly.
Yeah. It's like prime ministers or presidents. They always go grey, except Trump. Just goes more yellow.
So they were some more
It's
grand
awesome
final
work.
covers.
Look at this. Let's see. That's a duck.
Swan, yeah.
Swan.
Sydney Swans.
Sydney
and the
Swans,
yeah.
kangaroos. He's
Yeah.
got him in a headlock.
I always throw the mascots in there somewhere.
Yeah. Oh, this is beautiful.
Bit
I
of sumo.
love sumo. Yeah. It's so awesome. Oh, this is the races.
Yeah, so that was how they finished in. So that was the start of the season in '94. So that was how they finished in '93, including the Michael Long, the baby bomber.
Yep.
Although he wasn't a baby at the time, but he was the great Michael Long. He's in the news at the moment because of Indigenous round.
Yep.
There's beautiful jumpers. They're running around with it. There's Michael Long again. Actually, that was
Yeah.
so that's playing the D's in Jeffy Farmer.
These are great. These are great. These were all from the 90s, so you were a busy boy in the 90s.
Yeah, 90s, yep. And these were 2001 and 2002, I think. They were, so each week I'd do the mark of the week in the footy record, and so they were quick acrylic paintings.
Mm.
And they would send me out a VHS, and I'd pause it on the mark, and then have to paint these things from the VHS, which was, and I'd have to go through old records and try to find some face. You know, this is before the internet. So.
That looked like that
Yeah.
angle and things.
Yeah, well, I'd have to make it up a bit, but
Yeah.
So you know what it was like pausing the old VHS tapes.
Yeah, you had the tracking
jumpy
line
like
and-
this, so you'd have to sketch it really quickly and then just paint from memory. So they were pretty tricky, but they were fun. I loved doing them, but they were a bit. But I really wanted to get that movement. But I really wanted.
Yeah, well, you did.
I really wanted to do it, show angles and things that you otherwise just use a photo. So I wanted to introduce things that photo couldn't
Amp
do.
up the drama of the mark,
Yes,
of
that's-
the
yes,
action.
Yes, and the
Yeah.
stress in the people's faces that they were getting,
You did, yeah.
the people that were getting marked upon.
These guys, yeah. So that means that they're losing. They've just lost.
They've just
That's a point or something,
This
isn't
guy's
it?
just
What's
had this
that?
pointy knee go right into his back. So Lance Whitnell, so he's
Here he is.
stressed about the whole thing.
Yeah, there you go. That's just about to do it. So there's a bit of tension there.
So they were fun.
Yeah, but appropriate material. That energetic brushstroke that you get out of acrylic, that immediacy. It's really cool. So this, a lot of you really like your energy, really like your movement.
Yeah,
I think it's sort of
tried to move them through.
it's sort of
Playing
afforded
silly
you
things.
well.
That was the Bombers over the Tigers, so the stripe was
Yeah, blurred in.
blurring through.
It's nice. Look at that.
Russell Robertson.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just like a cape, like he's wearing a Superman cape.
Yep.
So yeah, just put. I
So
like
just
the movement of the balls. And those sorts of
absolutely,
things.
yeah, I could see.
Yeah, they were good fun.
Hello, there's a little bit of channeling Van Gogh here. A
I
lot
think
of
that might have been the mark of the year. It's Tarrant. I actually designed the jumper, the Collingwood jumper for Adidas that he wore taking that mark, which is pretty cool. It's got a big
So-
magpie on it.
Yeah. He's got a look. It looks so. He looks so serene there. There was, it's like a gift from God almost.
It's often when you look at when you look at those marks and how often they've actually got their eyes closed.
Yeah. Just at that moment. It's incredible. It's like it's like a religious painting almost. So in Victoria, of course, AFL footy is like a religion, or it's regarded.
So
as,
now you can take,
as
with the
important as a
quality of
religion.
video now, you can almost stop
Anywhere.
take a photo from
Yeah.
anywhere, it's so high res. But back in those days, watching VHS,
Yeah.
it wasn't very clear.
It was a bit dodgy,
Was very
the
clean.
medium. Yeah. Oh, here we go, back into watercolour.
Back into watercolour. So that was Liam Jarrah, who I basically did that one for myself. I did the sketch for an exhibition. She'll be right, mate. The exhibition of
Aboriginality. And,
originality, and I liked the sketch, and I thought, I'll paint
Yeah.
that. I'll do that in watercolour. So that's an ode to
the Aboriginal flag,
Yeah.
and that's the sun,
Yep.
which is the ball.
Yeah.
And it's like this beautiful tower of flesh and action.
But he had a tumultuous time in the AFL, and then when he left, Liam Jarrah. But he was.
Look at the bandages.
I think I'm right in saying I don't think he even spoke English when he First went to Melbourne. He's a wonderful player.
Yeah. Well, if this poses any indication,
Oh,
yeah,
it's
it's
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah, fantastic watch. I love the Aboriginal guys running around.
Yeah.
Footy. They have so much expression and joie de vivre.
Yeah. So your particles, your air's moving over here. It gives that sort of...
You don't get that in a photo.
No. But you get that sort of electric energy that surrounds these poses, which really punch them out, you know. It's, I mean, they're iconic in themselves.
Well, it's
But
probably...
that
this is
really gives it like, woof, boom. You know, this... How big is this? This must be huge.
the actual painting.
Yeah.
I think it was A4.
That's A4.
Yeah, well, I had to...
Brilliant.
I did them in a hurry. But I was doing them in a hurry, so they're
Yep.
slightly bigger than A4. And then I think this is probably...
Speed kills.
The reason I put them in was... It's probably the first time, or Banners and I put them in, it's probably the first time these things have been shown properly, because they were in the footy record, and the record at the time, 2002, 2003, or 2001, 2002, was printed on toilet paper. So it was, you know, they were horrible.
Yeah.
And they looked horrible.
So this is the
They're
best.
great now,
This
but
is
back then-
fantastic. So if you ever wanted to see this painting in a pristine state, then you have to buy this book. You have to buy this book. So there's a little plug halfway through.
Good plug.
We're halfway through the book. That's great. Yay!
So that's a mural at the National Sports Museum.
Yep.
And the idea is the kids stand in front of that
And they get a photo?
Yeah.
Yep.
Stand there, so it's nice and big. Yeah, it's looks fun. That's see, this has never been seen before, because I've got some of the mascots in there as I wanted to draw them, and not as I was.
Not the traditional mascot.
Well, in the end, a couple of the teams said, no, we don't like that mascot. Can you go with this one? So I had to make slight changes, but so this is the original first one that I did. So I've done a bit of that. I've put in originals and things that have never been seen. So.
Right. Yeah, mascots are a very contentious issue because it's almost like trademarks.
Yeah, they can.
In a way, they get a little bit corporate on you.
Yeah, a little. Oh, you know what it's like? It's. You know, I've been dealing with footy clubs and the AFL. You know, the AFL are wonderful to deal with. And footy clubs maybe not so much, but you get these.
Look at that stadium.
And I suppose it's the lament of most illustrators, and you'll probably know this, but you establish a relationship with someone at a company and they use you all the time, and you have this relationship where they trust you, and then they leave or they move up,
and then the next guy
comes along. He doesn't know you.
Yeah,
he doesn't know. You know, I often get called and say, "Listen, we had this guy doing live caricatures at our function." But we don't know who he is, but we hear that you do this sort of thing. I said, yeah, I've been doing it for 5 years. Oh, it was you. You know, you find that a bit. So in terms of clubs, you know, they don't probably have a relationship with you. They don't know you, and so you have to start again a lot. But you know, I've never found that with the AFL. You know, they've been terrific to work for, and most of the licensees are great too. AFL licensees. So these are I do some premiership posters every year. So this is sort of a cross section of these. I was even doing some of the AFLW.
This the halftime
with halftime, yeah. So which is just
a pun using your name.
Yeah, halftime.
Yeah. These are awesome.
Daniel Harford used to have a radio show called Halftime, and who's a mate of mine. And coaching an AFLW team at the moment.
So these are alternatives to the newspaper version.
Yeah. Well, the Mark Knight one. So I don't step on their toes because that's charity, and they do wonderful things for charity. So this is just an alternate. I was doing it with Weggy's Jeff Bridgman, who was Weg's manager. So we started up Halftime. We changed the name from Weg's World to Halftime after Weggy passed, and.
Yeah, we have to do a film about Weg.
Yeah, mate, I've got... See this board, ladies and gentlemen? This thing I'm tapping now was
the
Weg's
desk that
drawing
we're
board,
on.
the desk that Weg used to draw on. So Weggy left me a lot of his bits and pieces and inks, and I still use his paper, would you believe?
Yeah. He bought a lot of paper.
Yeah. Oh, Weg, it's funny. He would go and walk into an art shop, you know, and buy the place out, like have... Yeah.
Thousands and thousands of bucks.
And and so and you'd go around. I'd go around and have a cup of tea and toast in his kitchen on Saturday morning with Jimmy Bridges, and he'd burn the toast,
Yeah.
But he'd just give you stuff like, oh, take these things half, and I've got
Try 'em out.
But you've already given. Oh no, here's some more. He was the best bloke.
Yeah.
So we all miss Wiggy.
That's
And
awesome.
and for me doing what I do, he was a trailblazer. So a bit of the style of these premiership posters is a bit of an ode to.
Well, the thing,
although we'd never used the colour, but
yeah, but he had an iconic way of capturing some really cool idea. Well, there's Weg there.
yeah.
So a
that's,
really cool, iconic image of the mascot or the player, and put them on these posters, and you could tell them from across the road. You could tell who did it. You could tell, how cool it was.
Oh, beautiful style, beautiful clean line, and to watch him live caricature just with that clean line and.
I didn't see a lot of
speed
his
and-
work coming from Sydney, but whenever I did, it was just really quality, and he just absolutely beautiful line. Loved the way.
Someday we'll have
a Weg special.
I'll donate all the bits and pieces I've got from Weggy because they're all sitting in boxes and stuff, and I could actually set up his desk.
Yeah.
And I've got photos of him sitting there working away, and he's mine. But a tree fell on that.
Put a little cigarette in the ashtray or something.
No, never smoked.
He didn't smoke.
No, died of emphysema from
Some
passive
other people
smoking.
smoked.
Yeah, never
Wow.
smoked. He, in fact, Weggy, because he fought in New Guinea,
Yeah.
and a lot of the guys, he never got his pension, and because he didn't smoke. But all the guys that smoked got their pensions, and they used to he used to write letters for guys saying, "Yeah, I used to give my cigarettes to this guy as proof that he smoked, and therefore would get his pension." But Weg never got. I think Joan ended up getting the pension maybe 2 years before she died. His wife.
Wow.
But Weggy died without ever getting his war pension
Sad.
because he didn't smoke. So
Yeah.
how silly is that?
You could just lie. Yeah, I smoked one a day.
Well, if you knew Weggy, you knew I don't think he didn't lie much.
Hmm.
Yeah, great guy. So these
So
were the
these are
great,
historical 1971, 1934.
Well, they kicked 150 goals in a season.
Yep.
Pratt and Hudson.
Yep.
It's a wonderful fellow, Peter Hudson.
So these are record posters? These are
Yeah,
posters?
yeah. So I do posters of. So I do a Brownlow medalist every year, and I do the Norm Smith medalist, and I do the Coleman medalist, which is the goal kicker.
One thing I just wanted to mention very quickly. You do your own layouts, don't you, usually? So you're responsible for balancing all of these elements, these disparate elements of logos and
So if I do
dates and
So I was
info.
asked to do this one, Ballura Junior. So
Yeah.
I get a lot of junior clubs
Yeah.
get me to do posters and
Get
league
you on these
clubs, and that's the
butts
bonus.
burning.
So yeah, so I'll say, look, send me what the flag looks like, send me what your cup looks like, give me your jumper, who'd you beat, what you beat them by, because all those things are really important.
Yeah.
If you played in a grand final, you want to. This is the Bald Eagles that I play for. I didn't actually play in that game. I was in the twos, but so I would produce the poster. We beat the Vultures, the Parkdale Vultures, and the Bald Eagle logo, which I did 20 years ago now, or 18 years ago, had the tummy hanging out and the bandage on the knee and the bald spot. And
which is a pun.
yeah.
I don't think bald eagles have bald spots.
So yeah, I played for the. They keep dragging me back every now and then. It's Pacino. When you think you're out, they keep dragging you back. So I played a couple of games this year, but no, I'm all but retired. The body's falling apart.
Okay, that's fantastic.
Freaking hard game, footy.
Yeah. But you put the piece together, you arrange it, you compose it with these elements, with these other elements.
I worked in design I worked in advertising for years and design forever. So, which is great.
Yeah.
You learn from everything you do, don't you? Every job you have, you learn something, you take something away.
Yeah. Well, a lot of. I mean, this is a really powerful way of punching them out, but it complements the linear quality of the drawing. You have these simple blocked shapes around it.
I keep the style of the halftime stuff. Hand drawn line, digitally coloured. So that's sort of the style of the halftime. That was the 400 club. So they were all the guys that played 400 AFL games. But I like this collective, how that looks on a page. I like the
because these are posters, aren't they? You don't really see them all together because that would take over quite a lot of wall space.
True. You don't see them all. together very much.
Yeah.
So they're the different Coleman medalists over the years. I've got other ones too. It's just sort of a selection.
Wow. So how many years have you been doing halftime? About 10 years?
Yeah, about 10. I think we passed in 2008, so yeah, about 10.
Yeah. Wow. This is brilliant.
Jeff, now we're with Jar Jar's Collectibles, so if anybody wants those posters, go to Jar Jar's.
Yep.
Or call me. I've always got a few kicking around.
Yep.
But yeah, look, they go, we don't sell tons of them, but I like doing them. So I just like doing them. And once you start, and you've got a bit of a set, you just sort of keep going. So that was all the Norm Smith medalists. This is some of the premiership captains.
Wow, look at that.
So I sort of
Captain.
honour those greats of the past, and it's fantastic to draw Jack Dyers and Lou Richards and these sorts of blokes.
So, I suppose you'd have collectors that own the whole set.
Yes, yeah. Yep.
Wow.
I don't know who they are. Occasionally they come up to you. That's interesting. They often come up to you and shake your hand.
Yeah.
So
And they
I've got a
say,
little poster.
I'm missing one.
Yeah, how do I get that one?
That's brilliant. That's really awesome. Back into the portraits.
Yeah, so these were the 200 Club. So I did them for 2 years. Sometimes I do things for 18 years. Sometimes I do them for 2. So, and this was when guys played 200 games. So I did these in 2008, 2009. I would do a watercolour portrait. So these were a bit bigger than A3. They'd frame them and they'd have a night and they'd present them. But
so these are presentation portraits.
Yeah. So I sort of whipped them up fairly quickly, but it taught me a lot about watercolour doing these.
It does, yeah. Look at that.
And it was fun.
Fantastic.
Oh, I love this job. This was a really fun job. It was just, finding the reference and going, and then...
And understanding colour, like you understand colour balance and also reflected light. And, like most people when they first touch watercolour, they think, flesh. We make a flesh colour and they use flesh for everything. But of course, people are not like that. They're
lots of colours.
They're like rainbows.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. They really are.
And if your skin is shiny at all, of course you're reflecting what's around you, like
and
the
light
sun,
you're
like
under
the,
too,
the sky and
you
the
might be
grass.
playing at night or under sunlight, and that changes your colours and your shadows, your purples of your shadows.
Absolutely, yeah.
People are like rainbows. That's very good, Frantz. I like that.
Okay, all right.
So we did them for 2 years. I think what happened in the end that they'd have a function, but guys wouldn't go. So
they're too busy, or
no? I don't know what it was. I think it was like 200 games. I think because it wasn't 300 games.
Yeah. It just got too much, or too.
They just didn't get great attendance, as I recall. I'm not sure how it went, but it ran for 2 years. Look, the IFL are wonderful. I've just done. I'll tell you this story as we get to it. But they do good things.
Yeah.
For their pyres, they do. They cop a lot of knocks. I suppose it's a good opportunity to say they're good to me, but they are good to past players.
Yeah.
They did these apropos of nothing, just to give the guys something when they attended. And they spent a lot of money on getting these all done. So that was.
So it's like an alternate Brownlow.
Well, we'll talk about the Brownlows as we get to them. So that's Favola and Brady Pavlich.
Yep.
And they were.
Look how beautiful and dramatic the watercolours just.
I love that.
Blows me out.
As I was saying about the reservoir of colour and letting it wash through and the absence of black outlines and the all dark outlines, and I don't know. I just find colour fun. Like even the blues.
The contours are just there. It's held by the watercolour
when you
and
look
the use of white. So you leave whatever's white is paper.
Yeah, I like that. And blue. There's a lot of colour in the Carlton blue. Under different light.
Yeah, they actually in painting that effect's called sfumato, which is like a reflection of of whatever the environment that colour is in. That's cool. It's awesome. Look at
we did
these.
Some coaches and we did some umpires.
You're not scared of different colours, so these
stand out.
Yeah. So use complementary colours in the right the right sort of intensity.
Yep.
And contrast, of course. Oh, this is really, really strong.
Cameron Ling with just that
some
fire
liquid fire, man. You just went berserk. This is Whoa!
Yes.
Give me some more red. I'm on fire now. This is so cool.
I love those
Just-
celebration poses. You know,
yeah.
those great faces.
Yeah, and just the the forward planning of leaving areas white, so knowing how much I knocked that's me knocking the camera this time. How much highlight to leave, because you're leaving it, right? You're going. Everything that's white there is actually watercolor paper without water.
I think you do that as you go. You
make
know,
these
I tend to work
decisions
these fairly
yeah.
quickly. Like I was doing them really quickly, and making those decisions on the fly, which I like. You know, I like it.
There's that. Is it broccoli? Cauliflower.
Cauliflower. Yeah.
Cauliflower.
Yeah.
Well, with some vegetable I don't like, but
Every
definitely.
now and then it'll just burst and you'll run down the page and
Yeah.
bugger.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So you have to temper it. Sometimes mistakes are great. Other times, watch out.
Yeah. Very true.
It's just
Nathan Thompson.
beautiful use of the material, beautiful use of the technique. And just
Stevie Mill.
really dramatic. I hope this is coming out well with
saw this guy
with the
kick-
camera. This is really, really dramatic
I
colour.
kicked 13 goals against my team.
This guy,
Good play.
Yeah.
Poor Steve Mill. Just a little... The rat. But he was terrific.
yeah. Well, it's a sport of honour, isn't it? It's a really, you honour your enemies in a way. The opposing team, if they're good enough, they're worthy of your adulations, your respect.
Brownlows?
So this is the Brownlow section, right?
Yeah, this is a bit of the...
Okay, so you have to explain to me.
Well, these are
what-
certificates I
Right.
do. So I do these illuminated addresses for for the Brownlow medalist every year. So these are hand painted. They're about A2 in size, which is
Wow.
double A3, and
Yeah.
one is presented to the guy that wins, and then they do a print for the Brownlow room at AFL House, where
Yep.
they have a sort of a collection of them.
Yep.
These have been done since 1924.
Yep.
Kaji Grease winning the first one in 24, which has a spelling mistake in it, which is
Yep.
interesting. And they're all hand painted. I also designed the design of the Hall of Fame.
But you don't do the
certificate.
lettering. in
Yeah,
this-
I do it all. It's all hand done.
You do the calligraphy as well.
Yeah, do it all. Yep.
Oh my God.
They're painstaking.
Yeah.
They're quite painful to do.
Yeah.
I really buggers my back up. But
So if someone wanted you to design a new $200 bill, they could come to you.
yeah, well, I do. Yeah, I suppose. But yeah, I do. It's all hand painted. That was Collingwood's Life Members Certificate. They're printed now, but the first two, Eddie Maguire and Nathan Buckley, were hand painted or hand
drawn,
painted.
hand painted. Yeah.
So they're all hand done. I like to get the mascots in, and so as I was saying before, I've just completed. There were 35 missing ones, so they went from 1924 to 1964, and then I think the people doing them, or the old fella doing it, died. I'm paraphrasing a little or guessing a little, and they stopped. So they stopped for. From 1995 to 1965 to 1993, they didn't have any. And then when Ian Collins was at the AFL and Greg Williams won for Carlton, he was a Carlton man. He said, let's start those things up again. So it was always a bit of a bugbear to some of these players that they never got one. So the AFL, once again, apropos
Backdated.
I've just finished all the backdated ones. So I've just done 35
Wow.
of them, 34 I think,
That's
33 I did. And all the greats like Dippy Domenico, Bernie Quinlan. Bernie Quinlan used to come up to me and say, "Listen, Harv, can I get one of those? Can I buy one?" I said, "Oh, they're pretty expensive." Anyway, the AFL. So, to give the AFL a pat on the back when everybody likes to kick them, they just took it upon themselves to do these 34. Now it's going to cost them a lot of money. It's costing them a lot of money because they paid for me to do them. They're framing them, printing them.
Yep.
and having a big night where they're going to present them. You know, so it's all costs a lot of money. So, and they've basically done it for no other reason than they should.
Yeah.
And I think that's, you know, I think that's commendable. I think that's terrific. Good for me too.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
So this is that's the great Robbie Flower. I've written this story, so I won't go into. I'll go over it quickly. But
These are retirement posters.
Well, what they are is it's the Great Carbine Club lunch, and these are legends that are inducted into the Carbine Club every year, and so that's Kevin Bartlett, and then they're presented with their original painting. And so Robbie, and I met Robbie on the night, and he was on the day on the lunch, and he's Bernie Quinlan's best mate, and he was a fantastic bloke, you know, beautiful fellow, and he loved the painting. And 3 days later, he died. His heart gave out on him, and he passed away. And his family rang me. His daughter, Danny, sent me an email and said, "Listen, Dad really loved that painting. He came home and he put it on the wall, and I wasn't going to tell this story. And he put it on the wall, and he was a very humble man, never put any of his stuff out, but he just loved this painting. He put it on the wall above the fireplace, and he loved it and loved it. And then he passed away, and they had it on his coffin. And
oh wow!
So Danny got me to I did 20 prints, and then they gave them out to all his mates at the next Christmas.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it happened. So he died in September. So at the next Christmas, and they gave all his mates a print. But he was
what a beautiful honour.
He was a beautiful man. So yeah, that was a lovely thing. Yeah, that was a really nice. I meet these guys at the function, and they're terrific fellas. Peter Knight's a great guy.
These are awesome.
Kevin Bartlett's a ripper. I didn't speak to Lee. I've spoken to Lee in the past. Malcolm Blight's a good bloke.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. You've done them proud, man.
So I do them with today's heads on yesterday's bodies.
Yesterday's bodies. A little bit of the controversy or some elements that tell a bit of a story.
Because he's never handballed, so he's always
okay.
Which is
knife and fork as well.
Yeah, the great that's an ode to Johnny Rogers. Johnny Rogers always drew Bartlett with a knife.
Yeah, stitching coming undone.
Yeah, the old lace-up jumper. And there's always little things like Peter Knights was the coach of the Bears, you know, so he's got the Bears footy, and Barmy used to knock blokes out, so there's a lot of bodies around there.
Awesome work.
Yeah, it's a fun job, though.
Yeah, no, you could tell there's a real love here. It's fantastic. I'm blown out about this. It's awesome.
There's a little card there from
What
Cowboy.
would you do if Jesus came to Hawthorn?
Okay, so being not a footy person, it was graffiti outside a church in Hawthorn, and they said, "What would you do if Jesus came to Hawthorn?" And some wag wrote, "I'd move Hudson to centre half forward."
Okay, all right.
And
so there's a story here. There's a story in all of the pictures.
Yeah, there's always. I always try to put. There's Jezelenko, You Beauty, which is Mike Williams. It's a great call. Take a mark over Jerker.
Yep.
The Fish and Johnny Platten.
Yep. So this is what I mean. You've got to know these people. You've got to know the sport, know the little bit of a history. So the narrative that you put into the caricatures have more meaning, and you know it sort of makes it more than a caricature. Now it's a tale that you're telling.
Yeah, I think you do tell a story with a caricature, don't you?
If you know them and you can do it, you know, then you should always try to refer to something that's special, that's personal. Because this is like, you know, when you're doing your Easter eggs, you're putting in a little bit of extra effort just in case somebody somewhere will notice it and appreciate it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I don't overtly have to say why there's a, you know, shovel and manure there.
Yeah.
And people that know their footy know who that guy is.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm not going to tell you, but. And then if you know, you know.
Then that's a special moment with you.
For me and that person that got it, you know.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah.
Which is lovely. Like you pass your painting out into the ether, and then people are getting that. But that's, you know, that's just for Phil.
Yeah.
Because Phil gets that painting, no one else sees it.
Yeah.
And that's just for Phil. So Phil goes, "Oh yeah, that's a great cover that I headbutted," you know, and.
So you, no one's seen these except at the function.
They see them at the function. Well, they put them on a big screen at the function, but Phil has.
So this book is the first time they're really all put together.
Yeah. So that's the first time you'd really see that, I suppose. people would see that. So yeah, these things are just really for me and the player.
I don't think you've printed enough books. This is you're going to have to go into a second and third printing. This is amazing. This is really valuable.
Because I've got a couple of mistakes I have to fix. I spelt Michael Wilson's name wrong, and the great photographer, and I didn't put a player on the one team on the cover, so I've got a couple of those things I want to fix in the second.
Yeah, Sam
printing.
Kekovich.
So this one will be the collector's item because this will be the first.
The one
first
with
edition.
the little printing errors.
Sam Kekovich, very good.
Yeah,
very good. That's Gary Wilson. He was always my favourite footballer. He and Bernie Quinlan.
So the flea has some significance?
That was his nickname.
The flea.
Very good.
Because he would jump like a flea?
He was tiny.
Tiny.
Yeah.
I was close.
Yeah. He did jump like a flea. So they go back a bit.
Yep.
That was Dale Waitman's testimonial, and
there he is.
He was tiny, and the Sostopus. Steve was I went to school with Steve.
Yep.
And
2000. When was 2001? 1993.
Yeah, 93. So yeah, Steve was Steve's folks, Rita and Serge, are good friends of Mum and Dad's. He's a nice fella.
So awesome, it really is. Of course, 30 years back.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
Yeah. So they're some older and new. That was when Gary Hocking changed. I did that for the Advertiser. It was a poster that they did in the Geelong Addy.
Yep.
And this guy changed his name to Whiskers.
Whiskers.
For
Hence.
They actually
Whiskers.
changed it by default to Whiskers for a week.
You've even got little cat snout coming up as well. It's fantastic. Yeah. So these are obviously signature poses and
Gary.
things
I've got a
that
few Garys
people
in
are
here.
familiar with.
I used to draw him a lot.
That's the punt thing.
Yep, handball.
Handball.
Yep.
I'll get it right one day.
Yeah, you're there. You're a breath of fresh air, Frantz, because you're not anybody from Melbourne is a footy head, and you don't. You just appreciate the art for the art, which is great. It's fantastic. So these are
the big wigs.
Yeah, so they'd be commissioned by the AFL.
Yeah.
These were that. Demetrio was commissioned by the
that was a controversial
press writers. Well, this was
look at this, the story here.
Well,
God!
Once again, no one sees this but Andy, because that's presented to Andy. But so these are all the things that happened on his watch.
Yeah,
Andy Demetrio.
All the little controversies, the Game of Thrones motif.
So that was the press Vlad the Impaler. Vlad. That was the Press Writers Club commissioned that to give to him.
Yeah.
And there were just guys that his mentors and the fat lady singing. There's St Kilda got in trouble for setting fire to a dwarf at a pub. he was instrumental in getting the Adelaide Oval happening.
Yeah.
These are all the teams that came in on board when he was involved. That was the Bombers had their trouble and strife.
Meatloaf's controversial. What was he singing? The national anthem? Or something?
He sung at the grand final, and
and his voice broke or something.
Oh, he was just past it, well and truly past it. Swans winning a flag. He said that they were playing ugly, and they weren't. That's why the Swans ugly. So So that's basically for Andy played Hawthorn and Kangaroos.
Yeah.
And
Colin Carter. All of these have stories.
They're all the stories. So.
Is that a controversial mascot?
Well, no, that's the Giants. So he
Giants?
was there when the Giants came on, and then there's Gil. So he reigned, or his tenure was with Demetrio and Gil McLaughlin.
And the introduction of women's footy.
Women's footy and Gold Coast and he won.
That's brilliant.
He won 3 flags as a ruckman for the Blues. And, so there's just all the different. It was funny. I did a caricature of Fitzpatrick when he left his other job company and went to the AFL, and then I did one when he left the AFL.
Cool. That's awesome.
And I do the retirements of the Lions. So from Brizzy Lions, every time a player retires, I do a caricature of them, including Lee, and that's presented. Yeah. So once again, no one.
They have another function. They present this.
Yeah, and they present those. So no one has probably seen these paintings either.
Yeah,
that was Acker.
So for Mint's watching, you're available to do money, our new money. Why don't we have caricatures? We could be the first country in the world to have caricature heads on money.
Now, I would love that.
Yeah, or even coins.
I would love that. That'd be awesome.
Caricature of the Queen. There you go.
So I like my caricature.
Yeah. No, that'd be brilliant.
So I have a lot of fun with the lions on the jumpers because Source 21. This guy had to retire early because with concussions. So because he wanted to be an astronaut, he was an aerospace aeronautic. What is it? An aerospace engineer.
Engineer, yeah. Band-aids on the logo. The wrecking ball.
Yeah. Well, he had to finish too because his head had been smashed up.
Yeah.
Brownie's quoted
a massive head.
Brownie did a quote helped with a quote on the back of the book that says, you know, with all the hits I took in the head, did it make my job as a caricaturist easier?
No, you got to. The topology keeps changing.
That's a couple of charities. So that's the Teddy Whitten Foundation and Neil Danaher for MND. Yep. So I do these posters that are that they take around on the drive and sell for to make some money for the drive. He's an amazing bloke. This bloke, Neil Danaher. He's made so much money, you know, to combat MND, and they're making fantastic inroads into getting to the bottom of it, which is amazing. As is Teddy with the Whitten Foundation's made a lot of money.
Yeah. So these are used to raise money for new equipment.
Yeah.
For scanning and treatment and things.
Testing. All sorts of things. Yeah. But he's a terrific. I never met Ted, but I know Teddy Jr. I did a book on Teddy with John Ross years ago, and I never met Ted. I never had I never shook his hand, which apparently was something to behold. He used to squash crush your hands. He had this bone crusher handshake.
Oh, you just got them. I'm left-handed. Here you go. Don't hurt my art hand.
Mark Knight did a wonderful cartoon when he died. And, it was brilliant. It was at St. Peter's, with the pearly gates.
Yeah.
One of the saints is going, "Oh, I forgot about the bone crusher handshake." And the other one's going, "Oh, I forgot about the squirrel grip," which is when they grab your nuts.
Yeah.
These were some emojis. I did these emojis with Ricky. I didn't do these are my ones, but I did this job with Anthony Pascoe and Ricky Walker, some mates of mine. And that was great fun.
These were animated emojis? Semi-animated?
So they were all vector based in Illustrator, created in Illustrator, and then they animated. So they'd have Dennis Cometti, saying those great Cometti lines like, "Oh, I can't think of any at the moment." But there was we did the girls too, some of the AFLW girls, which was terrific, and some of those. So I think some of those didn't come out, but
they weren't released. Yeah.
So we had Mick Malloy crying and when the Tigers cheering when the Tigers won, crying when they lost, and it only ran for a year, but it was good fun. Great job to do.
It's difficult doing caricatures front on because usually, I find it. I prefer a 3/4 angle, but you've done these really well. They're almost like badges in a way, like an emblem. Could see these as with a ribbon or something like that, and it's like this could be a new thing. It's like patches, patches on the hat.
The million colour that ears go when people are embarrassed is my all-time favourite colour.
The blush.
Oh, I just love that blush that ears go.
Yep.
It's the best
when you're
colour.
looking at them. Yeah, and then you have the beer nose. Really well done. Beautiful. So this is what are these? These are interesting. The AFL 360.
So they're the two compares of AFL 360. So they created some cards, Select Footy cards, created a couple of cards for these guys, which they gave away. Yep. People that rang up the show. And this is a mural, or was a mural at SEN, the radio station. So that was as big as it was right across a wall of their boardroom.
Wow.
That was all the on-air talent. So Kevin and Schwartz, Timmy Watson. I've got a little Andy Marr in there. Brownless catching his beers. And Dermy Brereton. So they were sponsored by the good guys at the time. Nice plug. But that got painted over, actually. Painted over.
So there's nothing there now.
Nothing
Just
there.
white.
Oh, they've moved those offices now. I see, somewhere else.
Yeah.
But that was great. That sat up there for 12 years, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. That's fantastic. There you are.
Yeah, so I purposefully asked banners not to put too many photos of me because, I see my head.
Yeah. You're a living caricature.
Head like a drop pie.
A drop
So if
pie.
anybody...
I've heard of smashed crabs and drop pies, and these are just
if anybody's upset
really
with
great
their caricatures,
descriptors.
they just need to, and they have a head like a drop pie, they just need to realise that I have one too.
Yeah.
I'm not kind to myself.
So nothing personal, folks. Yeah. So this is during an exhibition, the
that
exhibition
was
of the
Head High Tackle exhibition
Yeah.
at the Australian Cartoon Museum.
Yeah. Look at this. Hawthorn's all-conquering 2008 Premiership team.
Yeah, that was T-shirts, and I did that for Play Corp, so they were on T-shirts and posters and billboards and I don't know, all sorts of things.
Wow. Really strong.
Freo,
Yeah.
Freo anchor down there.
Yep.
So when you're looking at my illustrations, guys, I put lots of little things in there to keep myself amused. So
Yeah.
maybe
Little
you pick 'em up.
anecdotes, little stories.
That was Rex Hunt did a book called The Fat Lady Sings.
Yeah.
That was his team that he chose the greatest team of the last 40 years. But it was a few years ago now, so there's probably that might change. But that was all the greats of the past.
Wow. That's awesome. And that's one piece. It's not all like.
Yeah, it's just on the wall over there.
Yeah. Oh, it's two. Yeah. Cool. Really well done. Beautiful.
It's just a selection of caricatures I've done over the time. Matty Lloyd, and
Yep.
Hall, and
Barry Hall, of course.
Banners was really really wanted to do full really blow the paintings up and
Yeah.
show full pages of them, and
Yeah.
and which is
Really ultra dramatic. Really beautiful.
and show them
Yeah.
off to their best, which is nice. So yeah, the book does that nicely.
Wow, this is such an amazing book. The reproductions
Thanks,
of
bro.
this with matte paper is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm really very impressed. It does the artwork
Got a bit of a
proud.
quality of the originals, 'cause
Yeah.
you work on matte, obviously.
Yeah.
And so it has a bit of a feel.
Mm.
Some of it.
But it's keeping all the colours and the blacks, so it's quite a good reproduction. You don't need to go into gloss. Of course, if we were glossy, we'd have like a very hard time filming this
Yeah.
because
true.
there'd be a lot of
Yeah.
reflection coming in from the window.
So it will look good on the video. Hopefully.
Yeah, it's beautiful shapes and
I had to work quickly for that one because he wasn't there
directions.
very long at the last for Lola.
yeah.
He got the ass.
Yeah. That's really good. Really good.
Kangaroo greats.
Yep.
He's the shin boner of the century.
It's a really great kangaroo too.
Well, that's an interesting. That was one of those stories where I was told somebody told me, his manager or something, said, "Oh, he's not very happy about being in a kangaroo's pouch. He feels he's a bit bigger than that. Can you take him out of the kangaroo?" So I repainted it without the kangaroo, and then I spoke to him or his wife or somebody years later and said, "Oh, I love the one where I was in the kangaroo's pouch."
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh, so he'd never even seen it,
Right. So
Somebody
it's
else,
just somebody presuming that he
might
wouldn't
be
like
upset
it.
by that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But,
the funny thing with caricatures or art in general. when
But
you
most of the
commission
players I do meet that I've drawn, they're not terribly precious. They sort of get it, and they love the fact that I do know this, that a lot of them love being
Well, the real test-
immortalised.
Yeah, but the real test is with fans, really. I mean, they're the ones that you're ultimately talking to, people
sure.
like you,
Absolutely.
who get the gags, who get the stories.
Yeah, exactly.
And they appreciate the art. And when you see these, I mean, it's one thing picking them up as cards, but when you see these as bigger prints, you can really appreciate what's gone into them. There's art that's happened here on the paper, and even though it's sport, right? Not even though it's sport. What I'm trying to say is, even though the subject and the reproduction might be small. There's so much energy and so much expertise that's gone into it. You know, this is you're a very, very accomplished watercolorist. So you're like a watercolorist, you're a go-to guy. If you ever want to ask you any questions about watercolor, I have no qualms whatsoever. I'd ask you, because you know it all.
I'm just self-taught. But
Yeah. Well, watercolor is one of those things that really you can only ever be self-taught. Because it's like you got to do it in order to understand how it works. And, you know, you make it work really well.
Well, when I get
done.
When I get more time, I intend to dabble in oils, but these are
these are
large acrylic paintings.
Right.
But I intend to dabble in oils and have a bit of a play with some different mediums. But I'd love to do sculpture. I mean, I'd love to do some bronze, big caricatures of these guys.
Yeah.
But all in time. I'm too busy at the moment.
Oh, these would be brilliant as sculptures. You know, they've got a lot of shape and negative space. I was looking at some, what was it, Alan Moore?
Negative space is awesome.
Not Alan Moore. What's his name? The English sculptor. Henry Moore. Yeah, I was looking at some of his drawings and how he was able to explain what the sculpture will look like, you know, the negative space and just the forms, and it was just incredible to look at.
Cara and I went to this sculpture museum in Japan, in Hokkaido, I think. It's up in the mountain. The most amazing thing I've ever seen. They had all the Rodins and Henry Moores.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man, it was incredible. And it was
in a beautiful setting.
Oh, it was on a mountaintop.
Yeah.
You know, it was incredible, and it used the exhibition used the light, like the gallery used the light.
Yeah.
So the gallery changed in different points of the day. Most amazing place I've ever been to. It was beautiful.
Well, that's the beauty of sculpture. It's art in the real world, in the environment. So you can appreciate that.
You must go.
So these would make fantastic. I will go. These would make brilliant sculptures. You know, the sense of shape and, you know, balance and mass.
Balance.
And,
could you make that nose balanced? That'd be interesting.
well, the whole thing, you'd have to reinforce it, wouldn't you? But you know, I mean, that would make a fantastic sculpture in a sports park.
Yeah, cool. It's the next thing to think about.
Yeah.
So these were premiership groups of guys from this was back in the day. If you did to sell these, and I sold a few, I didn't mass produce them, but I just sold the other one. But I was reliably informed by a copyright lawyer that don't do 6 players, then each of those players. But if you do 7 players, that transcends the. Now, anyone listening to this that has a law background could probably tell me that's full of crap, but that's what I was told. So that's why I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people on it. So to avoid that.
So you're not focusing on any particular IP. It's a different thing.
So that was Sheeds, when Sheeds was sort of fixated with he used to talk about Martians, so that we didn't know he was talking about umpires.
Yes.
And these were the great Melbourne Jim Steins and Whitey Burst that died of cancer, which was very sad. Both died of cancer. Both the Irish, they were the Irish experiment. Yeah, that was
Great
Choco. Port Adelaide were called chokers during that season. That was him saying, "We're not chokers, we just won the flag." And that was Doomy getting cleaned up in '89 and vomiting on his jumper.
Yep. So these are little stories that you connect with the fans, that they remember and they understand, and these are the stories that are you're like a caricaturist historian.
Yeah, a little bit. Those were. That was for the footy, the grand final record. It was a pull out of the great
AFL
moments of AFLs. I intend to try and get that through one day. They were posters for in J Squad magazine, which was a kids magazine. So that was superheroes, which is interesting now because that ground is the AFL
is owned by
Etihad
Marvel.
is now called Marvel.
Yeah.
It's Marvel Stadium. So I did that years ago. That created superhero
Right. They should.
characters for the players.
Yeah. They should commission you to do it again.
That'd be fun.
Be awesome.
Just bits and pieces, things I've done over
Yep.
the years. There was Sack Coaches. I always really liked that Sack Coaches Club lunch.
The Sack Coaches Lunch.
All the coaches.
How
if they're not
apt.
a Sack coach,
Yeah.
they're going to be.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's really cool.
And I do lots of fan-based stuff for clubs, often with Spike Creative, the mates there.
Yep.
And then I
Women's AFL.
yes. So I've never been commissioned for any of these. I did these off my own bat, but I want to be. I want to start doing footy cards of the girls. So I love the AFLW. I love. My daughter's played over 100 games of AFL.
Wow,
And,
cool.
Already had a total knee reco and Philly. So
Goodness. Yeah.
So it was fun doing the girls, doing the caricatures of the AFLW. So I wanted to finish the book with, that is where footy's going. Isn't
That's
it?
the future, yeah.
That's the future, and
Yeah.
and they're big now, and
They are.
get bigger and bigger. So
These are fantastic. Look at the movement there.
and people often. I know I've said this to you before, but people often think, how do girls handle caricatures of themselves? And my experience is incredibly
handle-
well, often
they
better
do.
than blokes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
if I'm doing a live caricature gig, it'll be 20 girls will come up to me before the first bloke. He'll have to get a skinful before he gets the caricature.
Yeah.
But the girls come straight over, so.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Beautiful watercolors. Look at these. Look at the shine. It's brilliant. It's really cool.
She was born in England, Sabrina.
Yeah. There you go.
She's just left the Lions, so she'll be playing for another team next year.
Yep.
Tigers, I think. But she's a force of nature.
This is you at events doing
Yeah.
your other love of
Yes, so we
drawing,
just-
your live character.
So Banner's just threw some photos in at the end there. There's
Yeah.
my daughter Bill. So I don't have a photo of my son Tommy in there. So Jim made it. So they're just various photos of me doing gigs, and this is a charity I do with George Haddon for the very special Hard Kids
Yep.
at Showgrounds every year. So that's just live caricaturing, working live. So that's the book.
Yeah. That's the weirdest selfie I've ever seen.
Yeah, some photographer got me to do that for an article, for a magazine article.
Right.
Manspace, I think that was. I should do it.
Man-space, like the shed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a magazine. It was
The
terrific.
pool room. Cool.
And the end papers are great. So Banner's got me to do all those heads for the end papers, but
Yeah.
those from some of the illustrations I've done.
So that's a beautiful line work there. You can just really tell. Just seeing them all together, the diversity and the expressions.
So it's lovely to have a book like this.
It is.
When they
Paul,
first approached me, I said no, and
Yeah.
but yeah, no.
You said no.
Yeah. So
Wow.
there's the great Michael Long,
Yep.
fantastic player.
So Wilkinson
Even
Publishing,
Michael
Wilkinson
Wilkinson,
Publishing.
Wilkinson Publishing, yeah.
.com.au. Have a look at for
Decimal.
this book in bookshops. Hit up
Should be out in a couple of weeks.
Fish Pond or Amazon and bookmark it and buy it. This is even if you don't follow footy, this is one of the best, if not the best book on
footy.
caricatures that
Footy
that
and
I've
art,
ever seen.
Match made in heaven.
Yeah, but just caricaturing action and
This poor fella, Sammy. Sometimes when I'm sorry,
this
when
guy.
I'm doing this poor fellow,
Yeah.
he's not playing at the moment, and so sometimes when I do the footy cards, and then
Yeah.
I'm doing next year's now.
Yep.
So we get to the draft, and you never know if these players are going to play at a new
For-
club.
yeah,
and whether that card can go. So this illustration never got used. I've got a few in there that never got used, and but when he comes back, hopefully they'll use it. But
Yep.
but then I don't like to. I like to revisit. I hate copying work that I've done before because there's so much more.
More to the story.
And
more
people
to add.
change, you
Yeah,
know, and,
they do.
and adapt. And, you know,
Yeah.
those kids come in and they're having, you know, they've still got their pimples and then they change. So
Yeah.
I like to adapt with so this guy, Hep's had the big beard, but now he's shaved that off. So,
Yeah.
So I like to keep creating a new, you know, Bontempelli I've done 4 or 5 times now.
So every caricature has its own individual. There's no
Yeah.
template. There's no.
You can
sort
look
of,
at a guy like Buddy. I've done Buddy,
Yeah.
you know, probably 16 times, but there's always something different about Bud. There's always different tattoos, but there's even the boots they wear, you know, change. So there's always something different about Bud, the haircuts and the...
And even the way that you exaggerate shapes, you know, different shapes, you pick up on different things depending on the expression.
Different
So they're
angles.
expression-led likenesses. They're likenesses, but they're in context. So it's really clever, really well done. I'm really excited when I look at this. I think, you know, the possibility of showing these beautiful, energetic poses and the figure in action. You know, they're just the gestures are incredible.
So I put like a lot of artists, I
And
paint...
because you're a designer, your balance is impeccable.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like to paint these, you know, I like to work digitally, but, you know, paint, there's nothing better than painting because at the end of the day, you have a piece.
Yes.
You have an original, and I like, you know...
It's more satisfying.
It is.
Yeah.
They just sit in the box, mate. But
And it doesn't turn off. You don't turn it off or put it in a folder. It's like it's there. It's always there, looking at you. These are brilliant. So you really enjoyed these
I do.
watercolours.
Yeah. Well, I painted the watercolours for the
Yeah.
exhibition, you know, to have the exhibition at the museum. But since then, I've done the next 2 sets are going to be last year's were painted, and this year's will be, or next year's will be painted as well. And it's just the way I want to do them. They probably take a lot longer, but I love that. You know,
Yes.
a face is a rainbow. France, a great man once
Well,
told
there
me,
it-
and I love
that's
the colours
true,
you
yes.
get in the face.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I love looking at those greens and purples and
Yep. Fantastic.
purples
Fantastic.
that hide the shadows.
Paul, I am so excited about this book.
Oh, thanks.
I can't wait for this to come out and I can actually have one and own one and get you to sign one.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are shaking hands now.
We are.
Probably couldn't hear
You
that.
can't see that. This is Frantz Kantor and
Paul Harvey.
we'll catch you next time.
Thanks, friends.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin.